And we begin this half hour with a Waste Watch report. I'm Rob Hanrahan.
And I'm Tanya Foster. Social Security disability insurance is back in the news as the trust fund is now scheduled to run out of money in less than 2 years.
And when it comes to handing out disability benefits, no one in the nation comes close to a judge here in Harrisburg. CBS 21's Chris Pabst joins us with his investigation. Chris?
Well, Rob and Tanya, the Social Security disability insurance is a lifeline for millions who can't work. But like many federal programs, it's running out of money as enrollment numbers are now at record levels. As lawmakers in Washington try to fix the problem, much of the focus has centered on the judges who grant the benefits. And the judge who has granted the most benefits in America, amounting to billions of your tax dollars, is right here in Harrisburg.
I had a kidney transplant in 2004. Okay. It's rejecting.
The past decade for Kim Sullivan has been a struggle for her health.
Both my hips had to be replaced. My immune system went way down. I got shingles and had to be hospitalized. A blood clot in my fistula. I had squamous cell carcinoma that just had to be removed.
A few years ago, Sullivan's medical condition forced her to quit her job of 30 years. As she waits for a new kidney, her medical bills are mounting.
If I could, I would continue to work.
With her money running out, the 55-year-old recently applied for Social Security disability insurance. She was denied and has appealed. Now her case goes before a federal disability judge, and Harrisburg's Charles Bridges is the judge she wants. Since 2005, according to Social Security Administration statistics, Judge Bridges has awarded disability benefits to more than 15,000 people, by far the most of any judge in the country, an amount roughly 6 times the average and nearly double that of America's next highest active judge. With an estimated lifetime benefit of $300,000 per recipient, Judge Bridges has personally awarded approximately $4.6 billion in taxpayer dollars. Judge Bridges declined an interview with CBS 21 News. His lawyer sent us a statement saying the judge has filed a civil rights lawsuit against the Social Security Administration and is unwilling to comment.
There's certain judges you would rather have over others.
Absolutely. No question about that.
Deborah Wallet is Sullivan's disability attorney.
Something must be wrong because each of those judges is supposed to be applying the same law. Grant rate ought to be about the same.
But our investigation revealed that's not the case. There are 1,500 disability judges in America, 75 in Pennsylvania. The average grant rate is 40%, but some judges like Bridges grant benefits at more than twice that percentage, while others like Leslie Perry Dowdle in Pittsburgh grant it less than half the average.
I have no explanation for the variation.
To try to get an explanation, we contacted the SSA, but received this response, quote, "We cannot address Judge Bridges' approval numbers, as this is an internal personnel issue." The SSA did tell us, however, that disability judges are appointed for life and are granted, quote, "decisional independence," which protects them from disciplinary measures, including removal, suspension, or reduction in grade or pay.
We know that the system is at a tipping point.
Currently, 11 million Americans receive disability, a 45% increase in the last decade. With taxpayers shelling out $128 billion annually, the trust fund is scheduled to run out of money in 2 years. If that happens, everyone on disability will see their benefits reduced, which has caught the attention of lawmakers.
If we do not aggressively deal with the fraud, we will see those in greatest need put in tremendous risk.
This is video of recent testimony in Washington with the chief disability judge for Pennsylvania.
Without being specific to Judge Bridges, we cannot tell a judge how to decide a case.
Judge Jasper Bede declined an interview with CBS 21 News, but he admitted to Congress that Judge Bridges' rulings were, quote, "an embarrassment," and he has inappropriately awarded benefits. But he also said policy and management makes him powerless to do anything about it.
If there is a judge that's out there that is not held to account, and there's not a good process to hold someone to account in that, we need to find a way to do that. All of us have accountability, all of us.
If I don't get a kidney soon, I'm going to start dialysis.
As Washington battles over how to save the disability fund, people like Sullivan are left battling for their lives. She expects her appeal to go before a judge sometime this winter. Until then, all she and her attorney can do is wait and hope.
Unfortunately, we don't have any control over who we get as the judge.
Now, the Social Security Administration does do the occasional disability review, but according to the House Oversight Committee you saw in the story, 99% of people approved for the benefit stay on it for life. Recently, limits have been placed on how many cases a judge can approve in a year, but the trust fund is scheduled to run out of money in 2016.
The numbers were not verifiable, factually inaccurate, in my opinion, an unfortunate example of irresponsible and sensationalist journalism.
A Harrisburg disability judge lashes out in front of Congress in Washington, D.C. about a CBS 21 report. And that's where we begin this half hour. I'm Rob Hanrahan.
And I'm Tanya Foster. It's a story you first saw on CBS 21 as part of our ongoing investigation into Social Security disability. In just 2 years, it's expected to be the first federal program to run out of money.
And when it comes to handing out disability benefits, no judge in the nation comes close to Harrisburg's Charles Bridges. CBS 21's Chris Pabst broke this exclusive story, and for the first time, we're hearing from the judge in his own words here.
Yeah, well, Rob and Tanya, as we've been reporting for months, we have been trying to get a hold of Harrisburg disability judge Charles Bridges, and for months he has denied our request for an interview. But now we have finally heard directly from him. Although he didn't talk to CBS 21 about our story, he spoke to the United States Congress.
This is preposterous.
Judge Charles Bridges was defiant when he recently testified before the U.S. House Oversight Committee.
We hear no set of cases that has these kind of specific parameters.
The Harrisburg judge was under fire and lashed out at our story, which exposed his record.
I have been a highly productive judge in the Social Security Administration because of my motivation and work ethic.
Back in May, CBS 21 reported that according to government sources since 2005, Judge Bridges has granted disability benefits to more than 15,000 people, by far the most of any judge in the country, an amount roughly 6 times the average and nearly double that of America's next highest active judge. Based on an average lifetime payout of $300,000, it's been estimated that Judge Bridges has personally awarded close to $4.6 billion in benefits.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
After our story aired, Judge Bridges was subpoenaed to testify before Congress. During his testimony, while under oath, he refuted our numbers, even though CBS 21 obtained them from the Social Security Administration. The figures were even used in prior committee testimony.
Judge Bridges basically, since 2005, has approved about $4.5 billion in benefits.
This Harrisburg CBS affiliate reported a figure of $4.6 billion of taxpayers' money. How erroneous a statement was that, and was contributed to my record. The numbers were not verifiable, factually inaccurate, in my opinion, an unfortunate example of irresponsible and sensationalist journalism.
The judge argued that placing a total value on his disability payments based on the average payout cannot be accurate since benefits vary for every recipient. A recent letter to CBS 21 by the judge's attorney, Alfonso Arnold of Harrisburg, expanded on this point. Arnold called it improper to compare disability judges based on productivity, since judges cannot consider factors outside the record and are bound by the Constitution to rule on each case individually.
Like the regulations need to be updated.
Also, during his testimony, Judge Bridges was questioned by Congress about his 90% grant rate, a figure CBS 21 also cited. But despite Judge Bridges apparently watching our story,
recently I was referenced in a Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, a CBS local affiliate.
He said he wasn't aware of that number.
You mean that you don't notice?
No.
That you're essentially saying approved, approved, approved almost all the time?
I don't notice because I don't want to be influenced. Each individual is due his just and accurate decision.
That is the most outstanding thing I've ever heard in this here. That's sort of like saying that you don't look at the speed limit signs because you don't want to be influenced by what speed is safe on the highway.
The scrutiny of the judge's performance went beyond what CBS 21 reported. He was also accused of granting disability benefits to 7,000 people without even holding a hearing.
I'm not aware of that.
That's what this hearing is doing, is making the committee and the public aware of your performance.
Well, I'm not I dispute that because I'm not aware of, I was not counting times that were holding hearings.
The judge, who earns $165,000 a year, concluded his testimony with this.
I'm satisfied that I've done the best I can. I can't address what any other judge has done, but to do what I can do to the cases that I have.
Now, the day after Judge Bridges testified, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, Darrell Issa, called for his firing, saying the judge is, quote, incompetent. But the acting director of the Social Security Administration, during her testimony, showed no interest in removing Judge Bridges from the bench. For CBS 21 News, I'm Chris Pabst.